Welcome to episode number 5 of the Common Questions video series. My name is Jonathan Cheka, and today we're going to be asking the question, what is heaven? Let's get into it. The first view we're going to be looking at is probably the most popular view, which is just that heaven is a good place where good enough people go to have fun forever. It's hard to tell where exactly this idea exactly came from, but it seems to be just the most easily comforting to people at funerals to go, oh, this person is doing what they always loved doing, and they're just going to keep doing that forever.
I love this. This is what I do.
Part of the problem with this view of heaven is that it's kind of devoid of God. It's mostly centered on what you're imagining that person would just enjoy doing. Another issue with this view that honestly a lot of atheists have done a good job of pointing out is that forever is a very long time.
Forever.
When you think about maybe 100 years or even maybe 1,000 years of doing your favorite thing, sure, that can still sound like a good time, but think about the fact that 1,000 years is not even a significant grain of sand in the eternity of all of time. Eventually, you're just going to run out of stuff to do.
I am so bored.
That's not a particularly comforting view, at least not to me, but that seems to be just the view that people take for granted, that heaven is a place where good enough people go to have fun forever.
We're in the good place.
But who is good enough? Is the bar just don't be Hitler, or is it to be a Mother Teresa yourself? And if so, how many people are actually going to get there? It's a view that's not very fleshed out because, again, there's not one source that it's coming from, but it seems kind of squishy around the edges and doesn't have a whole lot of support to it. But when we ask, how does this look biblically, we get a lot more clear definition of what heaven actually looks like. And when most people think about heaven biblically, they think of the eternal state of heaven, which is a physical place that's inaugurated at the very end of time, and it is a physical new heavens and new earth where we will have perfect physical bodies. This is really described well at the end of the book of Revelation in chapter 21, where we get a very vivid description of what this new earth and new heavens is going to look like. But the question, to come back to our point earlier about, well, what do you actually do in heaven for eternity? Well, first of all, we're going to be in the presence of God, and if He is the source of all good things and an infinite source of those good things, for all of infinity, you are never going to run out of good things to receive from God in that. But again, what do we actually do in that? Do we just hover around God singing hymns for the rest of our lives? Well, there's no reason to think that we wouldn't do the same thing that Adam and Eve were commissioned to do in the garden, which is to be fruitful, multiply, and to subdue the earth. All of what the reformers would call the cultural mandate, that's going to be available to us in the new heavens and the new earth. A better question to ask yourself would be, why wouldn't you be able to do these things? If it's removed from all sinfulness and all evil, all good things that could ever possibly be done will be available to us for all of time. That sounds like a lot more comforting view than just good people having good times doing good things.
All good things? All good things?
But do we have to wait for the end of time? What happens in the meantime when someone dies and the resurrection of all people and all believers hasn't happened yet? What does that look like? Well, that's usually called the intermediate state. In other words, your soul is apart from your body, and your body hasn't been resurrected in the new heavens and the new earth yet. Paul talks about this in his letters, that those who have been apart from the body are now with the Lord. So there's this kind of intermediate waiting state where you're not just in some sort of purgatory soul sleep type situation. You are in the presence of God even though you're away from your body during that time. It's kind of this weird intermediate state, but that's what it looks like in between now and forever. But do we have to wait to die to enjoy the benefits of heaven? Well, Matthew, the author of one of the Gospels, would say that the kingdom is coming here on earth.
Yeah, on earth.
We don't just have to wait for some later time to enjoy the benefits of the kingdom of heaven. And in fact, the church is supposed to be kind of a preview of coming attractions. We are supposed to inaugurate the kingdom of heaven here on earth. So it's not just benefits that we're waiting for later. There are things that we can do here and now to enjoy the presence of God and who He is and receive those benefits. So the question, what is heaven, is kind of a more complicated question than just where are we going when we die. There's a sense in which the kingdom of heaven is here and now. We enjoy it as soon as we are apart from our bodies, as soon as we have died, and we enjoy it forever in the eternal state. Hopefully you found this episode helpful in sorting through what heaven is. If you want to go a little bit more into detail, we actually have more accompanying podcast episodes to go along with this. You can find all the links to those in the description below. If you haven't already done it yet, make sure to like this video, leave any thoughts that you have in the comments below, and subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so that you never miss one of the new videos coming out from our channel.